welcome to Side Roads. I'm Carlos, and this is the 2025 Chevrolet Trax. Special thanks to the team at Quantrill, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac for providing the car for this video.
The 2024 Chevrolet Trax. This is a very interesting product from Chevrolet. It's a subcompact SUV, and it's here to replace the small sedans from Chevrolet for sure. It comes with a 1.3 liter 3-cylinder engine, turbocharged, that produces 137 horsepower and 162 pound-feet of torque. So those figures may sound on the low end, but truly is not. In terms of horsepower in this segment, cars go from 140 to 150, 160 type of thing. But none of them, most of them does not have the torque that this one gets because of the turbo. So in combination, it's a pretty decent, sufficient engine for the size of the car, and especially for the segment where it's competing. It comes with a 6-speed automatic transmission and is only available on front-wheel drive. That may be a weak point. Some of the offerings in the segment has all-wheel drive, but not everybody needs an all-wheel drive car. And again, since this is kind of here to replace the sedans, most sedans comes only front-wheel drive. So that's not an issue unless you are specifically looking for a car that is all-wheel drive or live in an area that the weather conditions or something else require you to have all-wheel drive. Otherwise, this is fine. And most offerings comes with also front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive as an option. As I said, the Trax is sitting on the subcompact class, which is huge and is packed with offerings. So I've chosen a few cars as competitors to mention in this video, especially because of the shape of the car. It has this lifted hatchback type of look and design. So it is going against the Subaru Crosstrek, the Hyundai Kona, and the Mazda CX-30, just to mention a few, and again, mostly based on the shape of the car. There are some other subcompact that are more square and wagon or square SUV type. This one has a sleeker design and a sloping back trunk and some design details that are more like those three that I have mentioned. The Trax comes very well equipped in terms of safety feature. It has a standard automatic emergency braking, following distance indicator, forward collision alert, front pedestrian braking, and lane keep assist with lane departure warning. That's a pretty comprehensive list. Again, as a standard features, there are some trims that have a little bit of extra safety features, so to start with, it's pretty good. Fuel efficiency for the Trax is 8.3 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 7.4 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway, which is decent fuel efficiency. And it means 28 mpg city and 32 mpg highway, which is also pretty competitive. Price for the Trax in Canada starts around 24,000 Canadian dollars, and the top trim comes around 31,000 Canadian dollars without options. There are not a lot of options, but there are some options. In the US, the Trax starts around 20,000 US dollars, and the top trim comes around $24,000. Again, without options. The interior of the 2025 Chevrolet Trax is good in general. It's mostly hard plastics, but it has some tricks. For example, and I hope you can see here, this texture portion, it looks really sharp. It's not soft, but it's a nice different material, and it looks really, really good. And then it has these red accents around the vents and the dashboard with this piano black portion here, which makes it feel a little bit upscale. Piano black is a thing. It gets scratched and dirty, but this is not a touch point, so this should be fine. The center console here has also piano black, and this will, this is a high traffic zone, so that wouldn't be as good, but plenty of cars are still offering piano black, and at least visually it's a little bit more interesting than just a matte dark plastic. The touch points is another interesting topic. So the doors and the armrest here is not padded. This one is, the center console is a little bit padded, and then everything else is harder plastic. The liner is nice and the color, so that's good. And remember, what we are paying for this guy is really, really well priced, and it has some other elements to bring this cabin up. Like I mentioned, this portion that I really like, and it has some chrome here, and then there is this digital display. The gauge cluster is an 8-inch digital display, and it's really crisp, super simple, but you have your speed and your rev and your gas, the bare minimum, but it's there, and it's digital, it's nice looking. And then we have this 11-inch curved or tilted screen towards the driver, and it's super, super clear and crisp to see, and the icons are very visible and big enough, so it's nice. And this whole thing elevates the cabin for sure. The steering wheel is wrapped in leather and is heated, and it has this combination of perforated and regular leather. It looks really nice, makes it look really sporty, and have this flat button in a different material too, which also makes the steering to feel very sporty, and it feels really nice while driving and in your hands. It has a regular shifter, which I love, and backup camera, which, good enough definition, I will say. It will do the job. The air conditioning is one zone, and it have all the right buttons and hard buttons here, so it's good and easy to use as well. These seats are manual, but I think you can opt for electric seats, and of course the 4 windows are electric with one touch down for the driver, and you have to keep it pressing to for the up function, which is also okay. Again, it's a simple cabin, but the design and the small elements, and especially all this digital stuff, also the design may be hard plastic, but it's curved, and I have combination of materials, have this round vents here. You cannot see, you'll see it in the video. So all this makes the car to look young and fresh and fun, and I do like that. The seats are leatherette, and it has this red stitching and the RS badge in here. So again, it makes it feel a little bit more special. I fit behind myself in the passenger seat, and I have room to spare. I recently reviewed a Mazda
CX-30, so watch that video. And there is more space in the back here than in the CX-30, so it has more power, but depending on what you're looking for, because it's more spacious and more comfortable in the back on the trucks. And the trunk has sufficient space for the class. So overall, this is a very well-rounded product from Chevrolet, and I think it looks the part and has some elements here that will never screen in your face. You got the cheapest car out there, because you will not feel like that.
How is to drive the Chevrolet Trax? Okay, once again, and I think I'm getting repetitive in all my videos, but this is a pleasant surprise. As I said, the engine is a 3-cylinder turbo, but it's pretty torquey, so it goes off the line with no issues. It's pretty smooth too. The combination of the gas pedal with the transmission that is doing a pretty good job, it makes the car, it's pretty well calibrated, so it makes the car feel with no issues, you know, powerful enough and competent enough in pretty much all situations. Yes, passing in the highway maybe may require a little bit of extra planning, but as a city car, and even in the highway without having to go too fast or passing in too many occasions, this is good. And remember, it's around the power combination, you know, power plus torque on any other offering on the segment, so there's nothing that you will lose by having a truck compared to any other competitors. Then it has active noise cancellation, and I cannot believe how quiet the car is. I'm going through a not a smoother road right now, and it is like really quiet in here, and quietness makes cars to give you a more premium experience while driving, so pretty good there. The steering is responsive and it's on the soft side, but there is still enough quick input feedback here to make it feel, you know, you're in control and the car reacts properly, and a little bit, I wouldn't say sporty, but it's just nice. I mean, it feels like you have control on the car, which is what I want when driving a car. Then the dimensions, because of the size of the car, makes the car pretty agile, and with the steering and the transmission, and I'm now tasting the brakes, are also pretty linear and progressive, so that's good. Overall, it's a pretty good driving experience, especially when considering the price and the segment, so it is really cool. The seats are nice and comfortable. The driving position, it could be better. You have to find that you have to move the steering and the seats up and down and back to find your right amount. I'm comfortable now. I don't think it's the best driving position I ever had, but it's still comfortable enough. And again, the seats helps a lot because they are comfy. So I'm going uphill now. It's a small hill, but still, and the car's downshift with no issues, and it feels quick and it doesn't feel that it's suffering at all. Again, calibration here between this little engine and the transmission and the gas pedal and input is very, very good. The suspension is a nice balance between soft and hard, so it's good. It makes the car feels a little bit more sporty without being uncomfortable. It's the opposite. It's really comfortable, and because of the noise cancellation that I mentioned before, it feels premium and nice in here. It doesn't feel like you are buying a cheap car. It feels like a car where you got your money back from it, which is always good. I am surprised with this car, and the base model starts really low, undercuts everyone in this segment. That's a pretty good selling point, but of course that's a really base model. But if you go 1-2 trims up, and they all have their own specific features, so check it out, because you will find one. Not necessarily the top trim is the one to get here, but then the top trim has things like these huge 18 wheels, which by the way look really cool, and the design is really nice. So you know, it is competitive in price. Of course the base price will hit hard the segment, but if you go up a little, then it start being around the same that you can find in other models. But the overall price value here is also really strong. So Chevrolet has in his hands a very good product to go out on this very crowded segment, and it's selling pretty well too, and I see why now. I could recommend this car to, you know, young buyers and people that are starting a family, or you know, single, not kids yet, or it's just right. The 2025 Chevrolet Trax not only looks this good, it's very well equipped, and the value proposition is hard to beat.